I just wanted to put the clip in beginning of this video as well, because this video is going to be about something that I'm trying to rationalize in my own head. I come up with these things that these people are doing to me, and I literally, when somebody offers me food, I literally, I wonder if it's being poisoned. This woman Laura, she always buys a bottle of Coca-Cola from me. I don't know why, I'm just saying. And she always kind of forces it to me. And she's been, now that I don't have really money, she goes, "Oh, you want something from ShopRite? I can put it on my EBT card. I get it for you." Now I know that's being nice, but there's a certain point though that I'm not trusting that she's not, because I did one of the Cokes every time that gives me she's the big bottle of Coke. And I have a small cold one. It's a big one that it's warm, and then I have to try to get it cold. It has a weird taste. Now, is that my imagination? Because she won't even tell me about that thing about the bottles. Underneath, if you turn it upside down, the needle stick a needle with fentanyl in it, fill that up with fentanyl, and then take the little crazy glue and put the crazy glue back on a little hole in the bottom of the Coke, and all of a sudden you don't even notice that it's been tampered with. I can't. Every time she gives me one, I open it, I drink a little bit, it has a weird taste, and I throw it away. I don't know the difference between a regular Coke and a Coke that has a weird taste to it. Nothing that she gets me for food-wise, I'll end up eating anymore. A few times I got a little bit, I eat it and I fell asleep. That's what fentanyl does. But it's a really deep sleep where anybody can come in and just take your wallet or rob you, and you're in a deep sleep. And I don't, especially since I don't do opiates. Right? I'm not sure. I can't be sure. But I want to go over the last 3 people that passed away. There's been 3 people that I knew personally. I think it's 4 in total, but there's 3 people that I personally knew that have passed away since I've been here. They found them. 2 of them, they found them dead in the tents, and 1 was living with Bobby's brother, Ian, and his girlfriend, and his name was Skeeter. And this is the first guy I'm going to mention. And he died. Bad stomach cramps all of a sudden, and rushed to the hospital, but on the way over he ended up dying. He was 31 years old. Pretty nice kid as far as I could tell. They said he had some hepatitis or something, and that might have caused it. Could have been, because they asked him. He started getting like pains in his stomach, and they asked him, "Well, this is what Ian sent to me. Oh, we asked him if he wanted to call an ambulance, but he said no." I was like, "I know that's probably what I would do." I said, "No, I don't want to call an ambulance. But for him to completely die like that, strange. Supposedly he started feeling pain, and then he came out of the tent and he was throwing up, and all of a sudden, and he got it. He said, "Are you going to call the ambulance?" And he said, "No, let me just get past this." And then Ian was holding him, and then he started convulsing, and then that's when they finally called an ambulance. By the time the ambulance came, he was almost dead, and when they drove him to the hospital, he ended up being dead. Anyway, number 1, he lived with Ian and his girlfriend. They shared a tent. Ian is Bobby's brother, the one who stole my scooter. I don't trust them as much as I don't trust Bobby. They all did dope. Maybe he got some money, and because sometimes he would be out there panhandling, asking for money, and sometimes he's like, "Oh yeah, I made $100 today, $120 today." Maybe he had the money and they needed it, and number 1, Skeeter died about 5 months ago. Number 2, his name was Scott. Scott was a very interesting guy, older guy, also he also did some panhandling, very very rugged and tough kind of guy. It was kind of guy that it was really strange that after he passed away, his son, about 2 months later, his son came here and started asking about him. And I guess from the first tent, he came over to me and said, you know where this guy's tent is? I said, yeah, it's over there. I said, oh, okay, yeah, because did you know Scott? I said, oh, yeah, Scott, yeah, the one who passed away, yeah, I'm his son. Your son? Oh, he has a son? Yeah, yeah. I'm in the military, and I'm in the Navy, he said, and I can't, they just told me that he passed away, and it took them like 2 months. I didn't even know, because I'm not much in contact with him, whenever and for him to have his son, that was he's very normal looking and, military type of a guy, and young, cool. It was very strange to me because Scott was a very strange gentleman. He talked about, having ways to, like, I don't know, do little con things to make some money, steal some things, he was, I don't know, I think he might have done dope, I'm not really sure. He did the other stuff, but he wasn't very trustworthy. And what's really strange is that he actually complained to me about Laura, the woman I was talking about, and how she went into his tent and stole some things from him a few days before he died. I didn't mention any of this to his son. I just mentioned that that was a nice guy, and I knew I'm really sorry they found him in his tent. He was in his tent like 2 days, I think. And who found him in the tent was the other couple, the ones that I call Bonnie and Clyde, Sean and Lynette. The ones that she's he was in jail and she let me stay in the tent for a few days, and he found out, and when he got back, but how he found out I'm not really sure. I think she told him, and I think she stole some weed from me and some other things, and then I, she kind of threw me out of the tent, and it was freezing, and then when he got out of the tent, got out of jail, he went to, I got a video of him walking around the tent fucking threatening me. He came from my face threatening me, and he's been back and forth nice, but I'm pretty sure he's the one that broke into my tent and stole my stuff. Sean was the person that found him in his tent. He said that he walked into the tent, he called his name and he didn't hear anything, but then all of a sudden he kind of heard him say, oh, Sean, and he opens the tent and he sees him on the floor, and he sees him on the floor, passed out, and he goes to try to revive him, and then he walks out saying, okay, let me call Lynette and see what happened, and she called Lynette, and Lynette said, don't do anything. I mean, should I call 911? No, don't do anything. Let me wait till I get there. That's what I heard happen. And then they went in there, and supposedly they tried to revive him or something with Narcom or something. I don't know. But at the same time, did they go in there to go through all of this shit to see what they can steal before they call 911? I wouldn't put it past Laura or Lynette to have killed him, especially if they knew he had a little money coming in. He was really mad. Last time I saw him, he was really mad at Laura. She came into my tent and she stole. I know she did. She stole these things from me, and I don't want to say what it is because it would be deemed illegal. But she stole $300 worth of stuff from him. This is the woman that I'm telling you is giving me the coke, the coke, and I don't drink. I mean, when she gave me one last night, and she always pushes the fact that, oh, I have ice and I have Coca-Cola for you. You should drink it now. It's a little bit, I shook it up a little bit, but it should be fine. It's like, okay, yeah, thank you very much. I just dump it. I mean, you think of me as being mean for that, but I don't know what happened. So it's 2 people so far, right? Oh, and then Sean said supposedly when he went into the room, his tent, and then he walked out, he heard him say Sean, and he thought he was dead, and he goes over and he sees he's like lying, he's lying on the other side of where he was, and he takes like a blanket and wraps it around himself. He said, how you do it if he was dead? He said, I swear he was dead. And I mean, there is a thing that if you sometimes after you die, your body jerks around a little bit, so maybe that's what happened. I have no idea. I wasn't there. But all I know is that it's kind of fishy. And this guy died. That guy. And the third guy is Little Lee. That's the guy that I mentioned that he died about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And I found out that he was in his room, his tent, for 4 days, dead. Now he has a cousin here called Biggie that didn't even check up on him. 4 days in his tent, dead, until somebody found him in the tent. I'm not sure who found him in the tent. But I know that he was also hanging out with Lynette. And what I've heard is that he had a heart problem, and he was doing things that affected the heart. There are 2 different stories that I've heard, and I risk getting shot now saying what people, the 2 people that but one person, and gave him a super high dose of fentanyl, sold him, that he owed money to, and he needed and he wasn't paying it, so instead of he wanted to kind of get rid of him. So I'm not gonna say who it is. And the second person is the couple, and he was hanging out with her, smoking crystal meth, that she was getting. And what I've heard from somebody else is that he's the one that broke my jaw. But then again, who told me that was Bobby, which now I don't trust anything he says. He was, before he sold me scooter, he told me. Somebody else told me as well. So I'm not sure if that's true or not. There could be anyone that broke my jaw. It could have been that guy Joe. It could have been Sean. It could have been, it could have been somebody Bobby knows. It could have been this other guy, Sean, that used to live with Laura. Always hung out with Laura. Now he's not there anymore. I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully something, She said that, oh yeah, he's trying to clean up and not do anything, and he's doing something, working somewhere or something. Well, I have to get something to drink. Like, I'm even concerned, like this bottle of water was over here, but it's open, right? So I'm even concerned that any bottles of water that they open, like the bottles of water that are open, I actually use those for to wash my hands or to do something, even brush my teeth or something, but I won't actually drink it. I just did this one, but I took a chance, and I'm going to get another bottle now, but I left it in here, in this little thing that I have here. And when I was in my room, in my tent, somebody could have came here and put something in here to poison me. I don't know what these people's intentions are. I'm not being paranoid. I wouldn't be this. I wasn't paranoid like this in living with my ex-girlfriend, even though she threw me out. I wouldn't be paranoid just living in a place that's kind of half normal, where I'm not concerned that these people are actually But here, that's a whole nother ballgame. And here it literally is the Wild Wild West. I'm gonna get a bottle of water over there. Now I want to show you the difference between. Okay, so this is a bottle of water, right? And like I said, at the bottom of the bottle of water, you'll see that there's a little hole right there. You see it? And sometimes I get these in there there's nothing. But then sometimes I look at them and they're like, wow, somebody could have just held it upside down, right? Scraped that off, took a needle, injected some fentanyl in here, right? And then taken some crazy glue, put it back on here. Now, these bottles of water I got from a place where they put, and they're in a little cooler that I have, so I doubt this was it, even though it looks but it's not that bad now. I want to show you now. This is the Coca-Cola bottle, right? The ones that she's been giving me, right? And I just want you to look at the bottom of this one and see. You see it? And I swear I did not do this. I'm not doing this. This is not a comedy skit, or this is not a freaking something to This is what I'm dealing with. Because every time she gives me anything, I always look at the bottom, especially if it's a soda. And I check it out, and I look at it. Look at the difference between this one, right? You see it there? And this one. Okay, see, this one is kind of smooth, and it doesn't have really. But look at this one now. It looks like this, and it smells like. I swear, it smells like almost like crazy glue. And if you look at it really close and see if you can get it, it doesn't get sharpened up. You see, there's like a little. You can see a little tiny hole right there. This is the one she gave me last night. That was, I opened it and it didn't even have a fuzz to it. It was kind of flat, sealed bottle. Right? Power the seal, but usually, like I said, hold it upside down. Take a little, and you can actually take the needle and force it through this little hole, and then pull it out, and then take a little bit of crazy glue and put it on there. And this will do two things. It'll poison me with the fentanyl, maybe knock me out enough for them to come in and rob me, or break my jaw again. And number two, do you ever drink soda that has crazy glue in it? It doesn't taste very well, which is probably what I was tasting. Because I don't know if the fentanyl has any taste to it. So, this guy, literally, like I said, he was hanging out with this woman I saw a few times, and he came here a few times drunk, like in the middle of the night, and I was talking to him and stuff, and he got a little belligerent at times, and I was trying to go back and forth, kind of calm him down a little bit. And would I think that he'd be the one that robbed me? No, not really, because I didn't really think he was that bad of a guy. But maybe if he was told by somebody to do it, and still it didn't work to get rid of me. Maybe they got pissed off at him. I don't know. He owed money to some people for things that he got on credit. There's a few things that could happen, but see, the thing of it is, the police didn't investigate any of this stuff. None of it. Skeeter just died. Oh, he's an addict. He's a drug addict. And we did an autopsy, but did they really do that good of an autopsy? Especially with these people that probably know how to put something in there that is not as noticeable. And 3 people. And again, there's no. I haven't heard anything about an investigation. It's like, oh, we think that this guy was poisoned on this guy, because the thing of it is, when they consider you an addict, and you end up ODing, they'll blame you for doing the drug. Right? But the thing of it is, because it's illegal, right? Like I said, it's like, I go to Zen Leaf, right? So somebody went to Zen Leaf for me and got me these pre-rolls, right? Pre-rolls, right? Pre-rolls, the sativas. One of my clients, and she was very nice enough to buy these for me, because I don't have any money for weed right now, and this lightweed's less expensive, and it's like, I got $40. There was 4 of these little 5 of these little pre-roll joints, 5, which I don't even know what the weight was. $40 is a little expensive for 5 joints, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. $10 a joint? No. $8 a joint, something, I don't know, something like that. For small little pre-rolls. It's not even a big, but I know at least Zen Leaf did this, and they've been monitored, and for some reason, if this thing has something in it that's not supposed to have and it kills me, they go back to them. So they'll never take a chance. Hold on a second. So, I know that these are, they won't kill me. Now, if I buy something from somebody else, what I'm hearing now is that if you buy weed in the street, it's really cheap. And what they're doing is that they have it's like the K2s where they buy hemp, which looks like just a beautiful weed, and then they spray something on it. It could be one of many things that they spray on it. One, it could be the cannabinoids. One, it could be the Delta 8 that's being cheap, or whatever else. That'll give you a similar hype, but it's not the grown plant, the plant that was grown, and then now if you happen to do dope, the other stuff too, but kind of more so dope, heroin, they're mixing fentanyl with that. if you're used to a certain, dosage of it in there, which is what they do, they try to make money. So it's not like that. Some people like will do a bag. Some people will do 5 bags in one sitting of it. If you don't know what you're getting and you want to kill somebody, you know what you do is you make it a really, 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 really strong dose of fentanyl, right? Which is cheap, so it's not instead of dope, you don't put heroin in there, which is the plant medicine. You put fentanyl in there, and you do really, really, really strong dose of it, and you give them the say 5 bags. The guy's like, all right, I'm gonna do 5 bags, and and they do the 5 bags just as fast, not knowing that it's 10 times the dosage of what it was, and then you get a heart attack and die. Oh, you OD and die. So the overdose, when people in here, when somebody in here, the overdose, right, because you're homeless and they're drug addicts, the overdose is always contribute to the person's addiction, and then them just doing too much of it. But it could also be somebody that wants to get rid of somebody and gives them something that is 10 times as potent. The person doesn't know, ends up taking that thing and ending up dead. Or they could put a very strong dosage in a bottle of something, especially with somebody that doesn't do it. I don't do heroin, I don't do opiates, I don't like any of those. I don't like opiates, none of those things. The only thing I do is plant medicine. Is what I explain to everybody I do, and that's it. If you have a problem with that, sorry, but I don't do opiates. But now, if you wanted to kill me, because the police don't know what I do. I mean, the police won't know. Oh, yeah, he's in home Tennessee. He's probably an addict, like what everybody else up there thinks, right? If you want to kill me, all you have to do is put a really, really, really strong dose of fentanyl in one of these things, especially Coke. That this is water, you can taste it more, but the Coke is like, hey, I'm really thirsty. Go. Why am I feeling sick of myself? Oh my God, oh man. Oh shit, why my heart hurts so much, man? I saw somebody go deal on fentanyl. He sat in his bed. It was in Fernwood. He sat in his bed. I think the video is he sat in his bed naked with the girl he's with. Came up to my room and said, "Hey, you gotta help me. You gotta help me." So I went down to the room with the young manager that was working there, and he was laying on his bed naked. So first of all, I took a towel, put it over his private parts, and then he was staring out like that. So I'm like, "Oh shit, what do you do?" So I pushed him. I tried to wake him up. Tried to push him in the chest. When I wake him up, I didn't have Narcom. I don't have any of that stuff that they use to revive. This is about to end, so I'm gonna finish it up. The time I don't have a lot left. Oh, I got about a minute and 40 seconds. I pushed him, and his eyes. And I've never seen somebody laying like that with his eyes open, with absolutely, unless you happen to have like a, you're in a coma or something. The only other person was my sister when she got an aneurysm. And she was in a coma and she lay in her bed. My sister Kamala, but I've never seen anybody before. Because usually people that I've known who OD, they turn over and they fall asleep and they end up dying. But fentanyl is a little different. Wide open, his eyes were not moving, and just like that. And then we called in 911, the ambulance came. They were in there trying to revive him for a little bit, and then they pulled him out. And then the next day he comes back to the Fernwood and goes right back into his room. So he spent the night in the hospital. Looked like he was almost dying. I guess he didn't die. Somebody told me, the girl said, well, he bought some stuff from somebody, I don't know what it was. So, again, there are 3 deaths that happened here. The police really didn't do an investigation. They seem really weird and funny that these people died this way, and they the circumstances around their death, knowing what it is, like I can't go to the police for this because I'm not a witness. Somebody said this to me, but overall I understand why.